Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Columbus Public Safety Director Ned Pettus, Jr. We are in the midst of another tragedy in our city. Early this morning, a man lost his life at the hands of a Columbus police officer. This is a devastating development for everyone involved. First and foremost, the family and friends of the man killed. Our thoughts and prayers are with them, but also for our entire community. The Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation is handling this investigation, and I have full confidence in their ability and commitment to deliver a thorough, independent, and transparent investigation. Now, I'd like to introduce our mayor, Columbus Mayor Andrew J. Ginther. Mayor.
We are still raw from the killings of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and less than 3 weeks ago, Casey Goodson, Jr. Early this morning, we learned of the killing of another African American at the hands of law enforcement. Our community is exhausted. While it is very early in the investigation, there is one fact that disturbs me greatly. The officer involved did not turn on their body-worn camera until after the shooting. A function of the technology provides a 60-second look back, recording 60 seconds prior to the camera being turned on. But the look back function does not record any audio. So while we have video of the shooting itself, we have no audio of what the officer said or the gentleman who was shot and killed. The city of Columbus, the people of Columbus, invested more than $5 million to outfit our officers with body-worn cameras. They have proven to be a valuable tool to the community and officers alike for situations just like this. It is unacceptable to me and to the community that the officers did not turn on their cameras. The city works hard to provide police with the tools officers need to protect themselves and the public. So let me be clear. If you're not going to turn on your body-worn camera, you cannot serve and protect the people of Columbus. I have asked Chief Quinlan to relieve the officer involved of duty and turn in his badge and gun. We are awaiting the notification of the next of kin to release the name of the gentleman who was shot and killed. We are also giving them, the family, an opportunity to see the body-worn camera footage we have before it is released to the media. We expect that to be in the next 24 hours. As you all know, this past summer, we signed an MOU with the Bureau of Criminal Investigation, or BCI, to investigate police-involved shootings and deaths that occur in custody. This investigation is being handled by BCI, and the Columbus Division of Police is fully cooperating. In addition, I spoke this afternoon with U.S. Attorney Dave DeVillers and have asked him to review the investigation to determine if the victim's civil rights were violated as well. I am deeply saddened, frustrated, angry, demanding answers of what happened in our community earlier this morning. And I am committed to transparency and accountability in our Division of Police. The director and I are the civilian oversight of the Division of Police. The chief reports to the director. The director reports to me. and I report to the people of Columbus. And I am committing to them that we will seek the truth wherever it takes us, and justice will be served. I'll be happy to take any questions. We haven't shared any of the details involving the victim until we've contacted next of kin.
And was a weapon recovered at the scene from this man or at that house?
I do not believe so.
Why is Chief Quinlan not here?
You're here with the civilian oversight of the Division of Police, and the director and I answer to the people of this community, and we will ensure that this investigation by BCI and the involvement in the U.S. Attorney make sure that it's transparent, it's independent, and we hold everyone accountable.
Mr. Mayor, what are you going to tell the citizens of Black Columbus about how, when an officer approaches them, that they won't be in fear anymore of getting shot and killed by officers here in the city of Columbus?
Can you say one more time?
I said, what are you going to tell the citizens of Columbus that when the Columbus police comes out to handle a situation that they're going to live?
Well, it's critically important that we continue to lead, and we know the overwhelming majority of our officers are good officers that are doing the right things, putting their lives on the line every day. But when things like this happen, and we want a full investigation, an independent investigation by BCI and review by the U.S. Department of Justice. We want the truth, and we will make sure that this justice is served. I don't think we've shared that information as of yet. Yes.
Fired already, or will he be fired?
He's been relieved of duty.
Right.
And his badge
Is he being relieved with pay or not without pay?
He's been relieved of duty. His badge and gun have been turned in.
With pay or without pay? Because he
With
did
or
turn it
without
off.
pay?
That's a crime.
I'm trying to take some
tampering with
questions from the
evidence.
press. I'm happy to talk to
we
you
the
after.
people.
Yeah, we the people.
I understand. Yes.
All right, I'll ask for them. Will he be paid while he's off duty?
I believe that the contract requires that he be paid, but he has been removed from duty, and his badge and gun have been turned in.
Thank you, Mayor. A follow-up question. You touched on it briefly. Yesterday I covered officers being shot at in the line of duty. And what do you have to say to these officers? Obviously, you're taking steps to make sure there's a thorough investigation here, but there are plenty of officers out there who are out there working for the citizens of Columbus. What do you want to say to them today?
Well, as I've said today and have said over and over again, the overwhelming majority of our officers are doing a fantastic job serving the public. But there are officers who are not, and they don't belong with the Division of Police. And if this investigation determines, both through the investigation by BCI and review by the U.S. Attorney, we need to do what's in the best interest of the community, hold officers accountable so that they can remain safe and the community can remain safe and have trust and confidence in the Division of Police. Any other questions from the press? Yes.
Confident in Chief Quinlan's ability to lead the police force after an event like this here in the city of Columbus?
Could you ask that one more time?
Are you confident in Chief Quinlan's ability to lead the Columbus Division of Police after this morning's events?
We're committed to an independent investigation by BCI and a review by the U.S. Attorney's Office, and we will take whatever steps are necessary, the director and I, to make sure that we protect the confidence of the public in the Division of Police. Yes.
I just want to say to people about the rush to judgment. I think there is a concern in part of the community with Casey Goodson and others that we don't let the process play out. Can you talk a little bit about the process and the need for Columbus to stay peaceful and let the process play out?
Well, I think the community is exactly that, under the leadership and voice of Mrs. Payne, whose son was shot and killed. Ms. Payne has said exactly that, and that to demand justice has to be done, if you're going to do it in Casey's name, to do it peacefully. And so we've been grateful for her voice. All the protests you've seen since have been peaceful and committed to that. Now, I'll tell you this. When a U.S. Marshal shows up on the scene of a shooting and says before an investigation even begins that it was justified, how can we ask the public and the community to let a process play out so that truth and justice can be served? If we're asking the community to have patience and have confidence in the process, the least we should expect is that from law enforcement professionals. And that's why I called out, that U.S. Marshal was wrong. It was inaccurate. He had no knowledge of the investigation, wasn't involved in the investigation. And I think for a lot of people in the community, when law enforcement types or allies show up on the scenes of shootings and say, there's nothing to see here, this was justified, there are a lot of people in the community that say to me, here we go again. What are they hide? And that's the commitment we have. So it is supporting our officers. The overwhelming majority are doing a great job serving and protecting the people of Columbus. But when we find one that isn't and that fails our community's expectations, they can't serve and protect the people of Columbus.
What do you say to people who say that, like devil's advocate here, the actions you're taking today by having this officer relieved of duty is the exact opposite, that you're rushing to judgment that he isn't guilty of something versus doing his job? What would your response be to that?
I believe that this is appropriate action based on what we know, and we think it is justified and completely necessary based on what we know today. Obviously, when the release of this footage that we do have takes place in the next 24 hours, we'll have more to say about that footage and why we believe this is the right step and the appropriate step.
For people who aren't familiar with the process, I know there's some other folks here who asked me to ask about the process. Approximately how long will it take to get through this, and what will the process be? And either one of you can.
Yeah, so the way this works is the Bureau of Criminal Investigation, BCI, for the Attorney General's office has been on the scene since the beginning. They were called in immediately to conduct this investigation. I talked to the U.S. Attorney today to also be part of this and review this to make sure that the civil rights of the victim were not violated. And so we don't have a timetable. We think it is critically important to share as much information, good information with the public as quickly as possible. Not only do we want the family to see this video, this body-worn camera footage before it's released to the public, but the Attorney General, I spoke to him this afternoon, and he requested that we delay until they have an opportunity to interview one of the officers on the scene, and I believe that will be tomorrow afternoon. So I think this is obviously a top priority for BCI, top priority for us and the U.S. Attorney. But we also want to make sure that we take our time to get it right, but make sure it's as expedited and thorough as possible. We will see you all tomorrow afternoon. Thank you.